Hey friends, Jewel back with another super cool astrology video, and we are talking about inconjunctions and semi-sextiles in synastry and how this shows up and why this is such an irritating or annoying aspect when we can have this in synastry or in a composite chart. This is very much the same explanation for both things. So an inconjunction is when we have two planets or points that are 150 degrees away from each other. So it is the green dotted lines that most programs will show, or the semi-sextile, which is just 30 degrees apart from each other, and it needs to be a very close orb within 2 degrees. So it is an aspect of not understanding each other because these two planets or points have no common ground. There's just nothing, there's no affinity between them. So in synastry, which is chart comparison or composite charts, it is known as an aspect of continued irritation, or an aspect of continued not getting along, because these two planets or points between each other are really showing that they just simply can't come to an answer. They simply can't find a solution to a certain problem within the relationship, because the energies between them match up in such a way that it creates a scenario where they both want or expect two very different things, and they simply are not finding a solution. So they become very focused on the fix when we have this particular aspect. Something between these two planets needs to be adjusted, and compromise will not be neat. It's not going to be easy. There is no good solution, no good answer. A situation where all the alternatives suck. So the whole relationship can become focused around this problem very, very often, especially when we have this show up in a composite chart. So this is an aspect, you know, in conjunctions, that between people, they take time to really come forth. It takes some time spent with each other because of the nature of this aspect for this one to really show up in a way where it like becomes critical mass. So I liken this one, the inconjunction in synastry, to, you know, when you like get a stomach flu and you're sleeping and it comes on in the nighttime when you're sleeping. So you like, you know, you're getting kind of sick and but you're not awake. You're not really conscious of it, but you're feeling that's the screaming goat. That's my text alert because I'm that mature. It'll probably go off again for you multiple times and you'll get to continue to enjoy it. Anyway, so when you are sleeping with a stomach flu or stomach ache, it comes on gradually. We kind of dream it into our existence. It starts in the back of the mind. We're feeling queasy. We're not, really feeling good, but we're not conscious enough to do anything about it. We don't really understand what's going on until it starts to build. We start to get sicker. And then it comes to the point where it actually wakes us up, right? And sometimes we actually have to get up and run and do something about it. Or sometimes we just sit up in bed and it's like, oh, I've got to get something for this. I've got to do something about this. And you realize that you're sick. So this is very similar to how this particular aspect shows up between people over time. It comes on gradually, and it builds until you realize that something has to be done about it. And that is when it is time to find solution. Before you get to the point between you that you realize that this has to be solved, it creates this, you know, just an aspect between you, you know, whatever energies these particular two planets or points that are in conjunct are representing, those two places within you, they're simply not connecting. And so it's creating this separation between you. So inconjunctions do not help intimacy. Inconjunctions pull partners away from intimacy because these two planets or points that are in conjunct just don't have enough going on to feel like they can make that connection. So that is not something that is, you know, particularly conducive to long-term, committed, romantic relationships. So we have to find a way to make those, it's not even make those planets come together. It's not even that. It's accepting that those planets don't come together because you can't force it. It's like two puzzle pieces that they just don't fit, but they look really good together actually. If you put them side by side, you can find a way for them to be together, but you have to realize that they're never going to fit like a traditional puzzle piece. And then you have to decide if you're okay with that. Are you okay with it being an unconventional pairing? Or is it going to bother you to the point that you have to separate these puzzle pieces and find another one that fits, you know, in your mind better, or, you know, at least somewhat better. So, creative solution is what has to happen when we have two planets that are in conjunction, because they have no understanding. They have no way to really see each other's viewpoint. They try. You can make that conscious effort, but you have to understand that you're not really going to be able to see it. So you very much have to accept each other, or, you know, whatever energies these planets are representing. You have to accept that they aren't going to fit in that traditional way, and then find a way to be okay with that. So it is not like a square or an opposition where if there is a constant tension like a square, or a constant action like an opposition. You know, an opposition is kind of in your face. You're going to see it coming at you here and there. And a square is always going on. Inconjunctions can come and go in their severity and in their area of discord. So, you know, both people have to come way out of their comfort zone when we have this particular aspect going on. And sometimes their expectation zone, they have to come way out of that. And not everybody wants to do that. So inconjunctions are not for everybody. But they do propel us into the unknown when we do attempt to solve it, or when we do solve it. It puts us into unfamiliar territory because we have to go so far out of what we would normally do or what we would normally expect that we get into a place of colossal growth. That is what is behind the inconjunction and the semi-sextile, my friends. It creates the need and the alchemy inside you for tremendous growth. If you can solve this. Most people do not do well with inconjunctions because of the nature of it. Most people want to stay where they are and have what they want. This one requires loving somebody or wanting something to the point that you are willing to make a sacrifice. And it is going to be a sacrifice that is messy. So they're just not for everybody. It depends on what you're looking for. It depends on how invested you are. It depends on who you are, what you do with this particular aspect. That is the nature of the inconjunction. It's kind of an up in the air kind of thing. It's like the slippery slope aspect. So if this one can be solved, then it actually does create an intimacy between two people that is quite unbreakable, because they have had to work for it in such a way that they have grown on their own. They can come together in such a way where they bring their own independence as a result of this together, and it actually creates quite a lovely pairing. That's the secret behind these. They can work, but it requires going to extremes when we have this one, because it's just not a given. And with inconjunctions, when you attempt to solve them, there will not be a guarantee. There will be a feeling within you that you are walking the plank and you do not know if there is an end to it. So there is risk involved in solving these, because you have to put in energy, you have to invest in solving these in such a way, or you may not get your investment back. And the nature of people is such that we tend to invest in relationships that are about us. And you have to give in this situation to such a degree that, again, this aspect isn't for everybody. Some people are going to choose not to deal with it. So if you do, my hat is off to you, because this is one that can actually bring two people together in a very quirky and creative way, where the bond becomes quite unbreakable, in the sense that it is unconventional, it may be weird, but it works for them. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Yes, I do private couples consultation, personal consultation. I'm mainly a relationship and intimacy astrologer, but I interpret all types of charts under the sun. You can find me on the internet at truthandaspectastrology.com. You can find me on Facebook, where you should be following me, because I do daily astro weather forecasts, birthday descriptions, articles, all kinds of writings over there. So find me over there at Truth and Aspect Astrology, and I will be back super soon with more super cool videos. Bye-bye.